Hello, it's Wogawell and I'm back with another video on Warframe. If you're one of the many people that enjoy the Railjack update immensely as much as I do, but hate playing with random people and just joining random games, then this is the video for you. I've got a plan here that should fix all of your problems if everyone plays nicely. So what we need to do is we need to break the crew up into three major roles. Very simple, but makes a world of difference as long as everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing. It makes the mission go by way faster with little to no stress, because if everyone knows that this is my job, that's my job, it's very easy. So the three major roles are the captain, the pirate, and the engineer. Now I'll be going into greater detail as the video goes on what each of these roles should be doing, and it should cover every aspect of every Railjack mission that you'll be on. Now what I would suggest is that we follow this rule here when joining games. The first person in the game obviously is the captain, they fly the Railjack. The second person to join would be the engineer, simply because the engineer is essential to keep the ship running while you're flying around. And then everyone else that joins after becomes a pirate. Now this is configurable, you can change this around. If people have stronger skills, stronger eccentrics, you can definitely just change this around as you see fit, but these roles need to be filled at all times. So what I've also done is created this little map here that basically shows the areas that each role need to cover. As you can see, the captain covers the flying of the ship and also the cannon. You got the pirates who cover the side guns, but also the slingshot and leaving the ship. And you've got the engineer, which covers all aspects of the ship, but also the forge. And I'll be getting into detail on each of these roles very soon. But before I do that, there's something to be very mindful of, that each of these roles has a primary objective and one or more secondary objectives. Now, if the primary objective is followed by each of these roles, the mission will be a success. And that's just as simple as that, but the secondary objectives are optional and they do help to speed up the process as well. Now, the first role we're going to go through is the captain. The captain's primary objective is to fly the ship and to destroy fighters. Using abilities, using the guns, destroy as many fighters as possible as the captain, fly the ship and make sure that nothing bad happens to the ship itself. Your objective is to keep the ship moving around, taking out fighters and repositioning to get your pirates to get onto those cruise ships in the area. Now, if you do see a cruise ship and you do have the ability to take them out using the super mega cannon down below, by all means utilize it. It's faster than letting the pirates take over the cruise ships, and it does help in the overall speed of the mission. Very important. What they shouldn't be doing is repairing and using the forge. What can happen is you can get in an endless loop of repairing, using the forge, repairing, and the ship stays stationary in space, getting hit by cruise ships and fighters alike. And it just doesn't help the overall running of the mission. So primary objective, flying and fighters. Now the second role is the pirate. We have 2 slots for the pirate, so we can have 2 pirates on any given crew. 1 works fine, 2 is just much better, and their primary objective is to destroy cruise ships. And once all the cruise ships and fighters have been destroyed, their primary objective becomes the mission objective. So whatever the mission is, to kill the captain, destroy the asteroid, whatever it is, that becomes their primary objective. But I suggest waiting until all the cruise ships and fighters are dead in space, so that it makes the mission a lot easier. Now, while they're looking for these cruise ships, which you will be able to see when they pop up, they have a special symbol. Well, as soon as you see one, that becomes your objective. But in the meantime, you can destroy the fighters that are flying around the ship and also ward off any boarders that might jump on while you're looking for these cruise ships. As soon as you see a cruise ship, it becomes your objective. Jump off the gun, jump onto the slingshot and fire yourself at the nearest cruise ship that you can see. Focus on destroying it as quick as possible and then recalling. As with the captain, the pirate should not be repairing, but under extreme circumstances where either there's no cruise ships left, you can't see cruise ships, or the ship is in really bad shape, there's no reason why you can't help out, because the captain will be focusing on the fighters. Your only job is to fight those cruise ships. So you can help out repairing, not essential, because that's down to the next role, the engineer. Now the engineer is probably the most important role on any Railjack mission, and their primary objective is to keep the ship in tip-top shape, keep the repairs up, but also to use the forge, providing the team with flux energy, with ordnance, and with the most important thing, the juice. Revelite, the ammunition for your Omni tool, which is very important because it allows you to repair the holes in the ship. One thing to be aware of is that the forges do have a cooldown timer, so if you end up pounding all of the resources and forge charges into something like flux energy or ordnance and you actually run out of Revelite, it can get you in a very, very difficult situation because you might not actually be able to repair those holes. So always focus on keeping Revelite at its highest at all times if possible. Now I know the engineer role is a very, very boring and dull role, and if you focus yourself on an entire mission just being an engineer, it can be very difficult because you just want to get involved in the action. But keep in mind that the engineer role is actually a fantastic way to get XP for your warframes and weapons. Each action you do as an engineer will net you a ton of experience, be it using the forge or repairing parts of the ship. One thing I would keep in mind though is that if you're going to use leveling gear, at least bring a warframe or a weapon capable of fighting off the boarders that come on the ship, because that is your secondary objective, to keep the boarders off the ship, as well as the pirates if they can, but mainly you. You don't want to get in a situation where the pirates have left the ship to take over cruise ships and you're just relying on running around repairing things, because that will get out of hand really quickly. Now, as you can see here, someone's decided to be an engineer along with me, and what ultimately happens is a loop begins just like with the captain. He's going to run around repairing, no one's going to destroy the cruise ships, no one's going to destroy the fighters, and we end up getting catastrophic failures over and over and over, eventually, which in a higher mission can result in you running out of resources entirely and failing the mission, which no one wants to do. Now, that pretty much covers all three of the roles. And as long as these roles are followed to a T and the primary objectives are focused on, any mission is completable. As long as you have the Railjack itself capable of handling a given mission, the crew takes care of itself as long as these missions are followed to a T. If you're like me and you haven't got 4 players to match up with, in your friend list or friend group, then this kind of guide is perfect for random games, playing with random people. If you're playing with random people and it seems like they don't know what they're doing, then maybe it's time to take a step back, stop the mission, watch this video together, and you'll know what needs to be done on a Railjack mission. I know it's easier said than done, but if you can get this video spread around as a standard, it'll make the Railjack missions so much easier in random groups, which is probably the most common way people play Railjack. And I love Railjack. I think it's a brilliant addition into Warframe. So much fun. If everything falls into place as it should, it's so much fun. If you can get a group of 4 people willing to play with you, everyone knows what they're doing, it's absolutely fantastic. So what we can do is we can make Railjack better for these random games. If we set a standard like we have with Eidolons, because there's a standard for Eidolons, if we set a standard for Railjack, it'll be so much fun for everyone involved and anyone can do it. And one little thing I will add into the end of this is I think Railjack itself, getting to flying a Railjack yourself and owning your own Railjack is a very, very long-winded and difficult process. I think it's worth taking into consideration how much resources and how much time the players who own the Railjack have put into getting the Railjack in the first place. So if you're joining a random game because you don't have your own or you don't have a team, just be mindful that a lot of work did go into building this thing on their side. So if you're thinking of joining a game just to AFK, to refine people's resources in the forge, or just to generally not get involved and help out, then please rethink this and take a look at this board here. This is how much work did go into building this thing. Help out, guys. I've seen so many games where people just join AFK and they're trying to build their own Railjack or whatever. It's not a good thing because there's a lot of work did go into building this. And with that, I think it's time to wrap the video up. Make sure you share this video. Let's get this going viral on the world of Warframe so that we can all have fun playing Railjack. I think if everyone follows these rules, it would be great if we can set this standard. Like I said, I really enjoyed making this video. It was a lot of work, a lot of editing, but it's done. I got it finished. So I would really appreciate it if you guys could leave a like, share it around, and make sure you subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, because I'll be doing plenty more videos just like this down the line. So with that, all I can say is thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around if you stuck around this long. And I hope that the world of Railjack becomes a better place after this. So again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.